Hello and welcome back to another Scramble Time episode. I'm here with Yoshi,
What's up, folks?
and this is episode 24. 24.
Very nice.
Do you remember what happened last time?
Um, uh,
Alright, it looks like we
no.
we did Minorikawa last, and his ending, like we got him to the end of
Oh,
the
he's all
hour.
scuffed up.
Yeah, he got all scuffed up because of the explosion.
Car
Yeah.
explosion, yeah.
Um,
That's pretty cool.
I think it ended with him running towards the office, and then he gets a call, and the lady said that Toyama was in that car that exploded or something.
Okay, but I'm skeptical of that. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me,
Okay.
but we'll see.
Let's see who else. There's another person who got, yeah. Achi's in to be continued as well.
Okay.
What happened with him?
Pardon me.
Oh yeah, Hitomi went up to the car and it blew up, but Kanan was like, I saved you. And then,
She's so cute. She's always saying cute stuff like that.
yeah. I'm trying to think of other Kanan lines.
I'm an assassin.
I'm sure she says
this
like,
is all this is all my fault. That's her hobby horse, right? Is that whatever
oh yeah, that's
Maria's
right.
predicament is that it's her fault somehow?
Yeah, this is all my fault.
Yeah,
If I had to
it's so
guess,
cute. It's so cute when she says stuff like that.
if I had to guess, it's all my fault.
He's like, for my money. But I'm not 100% on this, but if I had to say, for my money, it's that this is all my fault. Yeah.
Nailed it. Let's see. We got Maria at a keep out, Kano at a keep out, and Osawa at a keep out. And I'm pretty sure we can open all of these.
All right.
Who should we open
Let's do it.
first?
Oh, pardon me, a little yawn. Let's see if we can check in with the homie Osawa. I don't know if we got to do
Alright.
much with him last week.
Let's see what jumps we've got. Man,
I'm back on my usual BS of avoiding Kano, by the way.
Nice. Oh no, this unlocks Kano actually, because
Oh,
he's right
I mean,
there.
that's okay.
Let's see what else. What other jumps?
Excuse me.
I think this is the jump to Minorikawa. Maybe we don't have a jump to Osawa yet. Yeah. That's not what we want. Sister.
Ooh.
Oh no, this is the jump to Maria. Yeah.
That's fun. Wait, is Maria to keep out as well?
Yeah, she's had to keep out as well.
We can do Maria.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we don't have an Osawa jump at the moment. Alright. It's Maria time. It's a me, Maria. Yoo-hoo. Oh. What's going on with Maria? I don't remember. Oh
He
yeah,
was hanging out with the Nagishita for a while, right?
yeah. Eventually I muster up the energy to start walking around town, heading nowhere in particular. Particular. The billboard outside of a department store displays a poster of some female musician. She must be pretty popular because lots of passers-by stop to take a good look.
He looks like a little Japanese Avril Lavigne.
I catch sight of little Hana in front of the billboard. Oh, is she looking for Hana?
Pardon me. I don't
Sh-
think so, is she?
she's
No
showing
one cares about Hana. That little weirdo.
she's showing something to a woman there. Some colorful sheets of paper. Hmm. The woman looks a lot like the musician in the poster. Curious. Moreover, I have the feeling I've seen her someplace before. Where could I have seen her? What do you think? What's your theory on this?
Excuse me. I have to apologize to the folks at home. Got a little cough. I think that they took um, a martial arts class together. In that, what's that one that they like?
Aki Jujitsu, I think?
Yeah,
Aikido Jujitsu? Is it Aki or
yeah,
Aikido?
something like that.
Aikido
I think they
sounds...
did that stuff together
Man,
to each other.
having amnesia is really a pain in the ass. I have no way of knowing whether I've forgotten something or had no memory of it in the first place. The woman looks through the papers Hana held out to her, nodding approvingly at each one, and I can hear her murmur with admiration. Hana! I wave as I scamper on over to her. As I do, the woman abruptly hurries off. Hey, we meet again, I say. Hana just gives me a bored look. Who was that just now? I ask. Alright, who voiced Hana? Did I write it
Might have been
down?
me.
It might have been you. Yeah, I don't see her in this list, so maybe it's you.
Okay, so she's disturbed. So how would a disturbed person talk?
Disturbed child. Disturbed as in like a fan of the band Disturbed?
No, because they had fallen out of favor probably before she was born. Oh no, this is set in the aughts, right?
Yeah.
She might know disturbed. Um, I think she would be soft spoken with a flat affect. So like, I don't know.
Nailed it. Hana quickly gathers up her belongings and starts walking briskly away. Oh wait, this is the most we've seen of the shirt. Smoking. It's not joking, it's smoking.
Oh, wait, I'm zooming in. Um,
You down smoking me.
you something at you T head.
Are you T-head? We are all T-head.
On this blessed day.
Oh hey, wait up, I call out. The girl ignores me. She's moving at a jog now, heading from Spanish Hill towards Koendori.
Uh,
As she steps out onto Koendori, she trips and falls down hard. The contents of her bag spill out on the road. Is that...
oh, is that Hana again?
I don't know.
Oh, whoops.
Catching up to her, I gather up some of the fallen pages. What's this? Is it a clue? There are poems written on the colored paper. No, it's not a clue. They're copies of a prose poem titled The False Monsoon. It delicately details the wavering emotions of an adolescent girl. Also, in a clever twist, if the text is read horizontally instead of vertically, it tells about a father's worries over his only daughter, who is now of marriageable age. Hana's genius will soon be discovered by Aya Kamiki, and she will go on to become a popular songwriter.
Huh. Okay, you say so.
So,
I still think she's a bit off.
So wait, does that mean you sing the song horizontally and vertically? Or is it after you record the song, you listen to the song horizontally?
Yeah, no, I think it's like you listen to it for the first time standing up, and then you lie down, and it has different words. Now it's about your dad.
Yeah, instead of you as an adolescent girl, it's about your dad
Yeah.
as at marriageable age. A look of embarrassment crosses Hana's face, and she snatches the pages out of my hands.
Touch those. Those are for sale.
For sale?
I'm selling poems that I wrote.
Oh wow, that's incredible! She looks surprised by the compliment.
Incredible? My friends at school said they were dumb.
Ah, that's not true. I only saw a little just now, but I thought it was a really good poem.
You're just saying that. I've been out here in Shibuya for weeks trying to sell these, but the only person who's bought one was that lady just now.
Hana lets out a mournful sigh. Well, what are you out here selling poems for anyway? You tea-head?
I thought maybe it'd help pay back our debts.
Huh? Okay, that's not something I'd expect to hear from a little kid.
Yeah, 'cause she's weird. My dad's in real deep.
She continues. The topic makes me think of Mr. Inagishita. Guess today is my day for meeting people mired in debt.
And I'm only in elementary school, so I can't get a part-time job.
If you don't know, Japan's Labor Standards Act prohibits the hiring of children under the age of 15. For certain jobs within the entertainment industry, however, employers can obtain permission from the Labor Standards Inspection Office for younger children to work.
How old were you when you had your first job?
I think like 16 or 17.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
Maybe 17. Yeah, because it was right after. I didn't do it during high school. It was after high school. Am I supposed to say how about you?
Oh, it's totally up to you. I'm not gonna be like offended if you don't. I don't really.
How about you?
I don't remember. I mean, you wouldn't count like tutoring the kids of the football team for 5 hours a week in college or something like that, right? You like a real job, like that you do like a lot. I was like 21.
Yeah. Yeah, when I think of a job, I don't think like babysitting or tutoring.
Yeah.
Something
I mean,
that
I did.
You, like,
there was
get an actual pay stub or something.
Yeah, I did have to fill out timesheets for that tutoring thing.
Oh.
But I don't know. I didn't really do anything though, because they were like a bunch of meatheads. So I'd always be like, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" And they were taking pre-calc. It was like sophomores in college or whatever. How you guys doing in pre-calc? They'd be like, "Oh, we're doing good, man. We don't need any help." I'd be like, "Cool. I'm back here if you need me."
Have fun. I'm impressed. She's so brave. Well, she's maybe a little hard to approach, but she is just a kid after all. She's so brave, I just want to give her a hug. Oh, is this Maria?
It's not Hana, because she's saying Hana, so yes. Oh, but maybe it's someone else? Are you saying it's just a third party?
Yeah, I wonder if it's someone bursting in. I'll read it.
Who?
I'll read it anyways.
Who do you think it could be?
Hana. If I had to guess, if I had to put money on it, I'd have to say it was Kano's girlfriend's dad, or Probably her dad, actually. Toyama.
Yeah, I think it could be Toyama.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I hear a strange wailing call from behind me. Oh my. Startled, I turn around to see Mr. Toyama standing there, tears streaming from his eyes. Looks like hand sanitizer to me.
Just some nice thick tears. Hana! Oh.
Oh no, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think it's me. I had no idea you were trying so hard to...
Toyama rushes up to the girl. It's quite the emotional father-daughter reunion. Or at least that's how it looks until Hana slaps her father across the face with her bundle of papers.
What was that for? Don't you give me that. I'm sick of all this running around.
She delivers several more well-placed smacks
like,
with
yeah.
her little craft project. Yeah. I was hoping the smacks would continue going on in the background.
Okay.
Toyama says at last.
I'm not upset, but I have to ask you for just one thing. Then we can see about getting through the day, yeah? Okay, but just one.
I can't help but find this ornery interaction kind of charming. You two get along really well, don't you? I say.
Yeah? Nope.
The two give simultaneous, contradictory replies. Then Hana suddenly starts to walk off, with Toyama tottering after her. It's such a weird little sight that I can't help but laugh. Well, later then.
Damn, how many cars are going to explode in this book?
I mean, technically, it could just be the same one. We're just viewing it from like 5 different perspectives. Further along Koendori, I come across a car on the roadside that's spectacularly aflame. A group of onlookers surrounds it in a confused uproar. It seems almost unreal, like I'm looking at a set for a TV show or something. I stand there, staring into the flames. Huh? What's that? I can see something. Oh. The raging heat makes the air shimmer. The scent of dry sand fills my nose. A gust of searing wind tugs at my hair. Where am I? Decaying roads, decaying houses, a decaying city.
Is this Algeria or something? Morocco?
And the people who live there. People who live. People who live. People who live? There's someone by my side. Someone is with me, watching all of this. It's a girl. The person with me is a girl, slightly younger than me. She says something to me. Ana Ismi. I don't know, should I read it or...
I'm Kanan though, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think you're Kanan. Yeah, you're Kanan. Southern Polite is the note I have next to it.
Boy.
Who says this? Oh.
It looks like the hands of Madia, not Kanan.
Alright. Cat's Cradle. That's my voice now.
Nailed it. Cat's cradle?
Whose voice was that? What's going on? Who am I talking to? Yeah, Cat's Cradle. I'm showing someone how to do a cat's cradle with a string. But who? Who am I showing how to do a cat's cradle? Kanan. I thought I was going to say cat's cradle again for a second there.
Did too. They were clearly enjoying saying cat's cradle a bunch of times.
The word Kanan echoes in my head. Level 1 memory unlocked. Kanan? I utter the name aloud. The images floating through my mind are beginning to break up and vanish. But I feel like, for a brief moment at least, I'd caught hold of the edges of some of my lost memories. That's right. Kanan. As soon as I say it, I'm filled with a powerful sense of duty. There's something I'm responsible for, something that I needed to do. And if I don't, this Kanan person is going to be in grave danger. Calm down. Just calm down. I'm pleading with myself now, fighting the impulse to take off running. You T-head. If I did, where would I go? I have no idea what my destination or my goal even is. Please, please remember something. Please, please. Cat's cradle. I gaze out at the flames, practically praying now. I think this is you. You voice the assassin.
Ooh, there's a Denny's.
There is a Denny's. Wow.
That's really cool that they have that there. Okay, you don't have any notes for him, do you?
Oh man, I did not write it, but I know it was like menacing, I think is the word. I'll write it down now so I don't forget again.
Okay. Don't move.
A voice hisses in my ear and I feel something hard press against my back. I don't need to turn around to recognize whose voice it is. I thought you said you didn't have any business with...
I did a little thinking,
says the man with the cane, slowly.
about how I might lure out Hitomi Osawa, see? I'm going to use you as bait.
Nice. To be continued.
Oh, we're fishing for Hitomi. All right, so where can we go?
We can unlock Kano.
Okay.
I think with this. And yeah, I think that's all. We don't have a jump to Osawa. Move around. No. Maybe with Kano. Alright, shall we do Kano then?
Yeah, let's do Kano.
There it is. Kano, the man in the business suit. What's going on here? Oh yeah, they just ran up, that's all that happened. Several people were on the ground nearby, evidently injured by the explosion. A girl in a hoodie was crouched among them, doing her best to tend their injuries. Who do you think this girl in a hoodie is?
I mean, I don't know 100%, but if I had to put money on it, I would say that probably, pretty much definitely the girl in the hoodie is Kano's girlfriend's dad.
It was Miku. While walking along, upset at Minori, we have a Minori jump that we don't need.
I thought he was, isn't he done for the
Yeah,
hour?
I think some of these jumps are for if you do it in a different order. Like we did
Okay.
Kano instead of Minorikawa first.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Oh, it's Aiki Jujutsu, not Aikido. That's something else. Aiki Jujutsu. Unable to stand idly by when faced with such a horrific scene, she pitched in as best she could to help them. Good job, Miku. Kano recognized her as the girl he'd talked to earlier during the traffic jam.
Police,
He announced.
get back. Let me handle this.
The girl was visibly relieved.
Help her.
She said. She pointed to a figure lying on the sidewalk, a short distance from the burning minivan. It was a Middle Eastern girl. She appeared to be unconscious.
He's always doing cute stuff like that. I think she got hurt rescuing another girl about college age.
The girl in the hoodie said. A college-aged girl? That might be Hitomi.
What happened to the girl she saved?
Kano asked. The Good Samaritan looked around.
Huh? Where'd she go?
The rescuee had disappeared.
This girl here.
The girl in the hoodie gestured toward the fallen girl.
I can't believe how fast she was.
She spoke with a hint of awe.
Nailed it. The way she moved to get to that other girl, she was on a level way beyond mine.
Oh, is Miku jealous of this chick now, too?
He's jealous of everyone.
Kano
I
took
think she's just slowly learning that she's not as good at, like, this martial arts stuff as she thinks she is.
Yeah. Kano took another look at the injured girl. Her figure looked rather delicate. It was hard to believe she was capable of great feats of athleticism. He started toward her, but Stanley stepped ahead of him. Oh, I'm Stanley.
Yeah.
Leave this one to me, he said. I don't remember if that's how he talks. His expression was unusually stern, even for him.
You know her?
Kano asked. The American didn't answer as he checked the girl's pulse and then her pupils.
Hey, Stanley.
Don't you have other things you should be doing? Stanley snapped.
Fine then.
Kano decided to collect some eyewitness accounts. Let's go collecting. Patrol cars and ambulances arrived at the scene in a steady stream. Once the vehicle fire was under control, things gradually began to calm down. Several officers worked to cover the area around the burned minivan with a blue tarp. Kano got his questioning underway, starting by flashing his badge at a man near the front of the crowd.
It's me. Would you mind answering a few questions?
The man puffed himself up.
How about you answer a few questions for me? Was this an accident or an attack? We still don't know many details.
Kano admitted. The man shoved his finger in Kano's face.
Okay. Let me rephrase that for you. This was a major incident.
Oh, there's that Denny's in the background.
Ooh.
There's like an American flag there too.
If he's gonna shove his finger in his face, he should at least take him to Denny's first. Huh?
Wow, that finger's really close to his face.
I've been around the block a few times, and I know all your police PR lingo. And when you start to compare the details, that is 100% indicative of a major incident. Well, I sure picked the wrong guy to try and talk to.
Stifling his frustration, Kano continued his questioning.
Did you happen to notice anything unusual prior to the explosion? Unusual? Now that you mention it, I think I heard a cell phone ringtone. We've done this.
Yeah, I think we saw this from Minorikawa's viewpoint.
Yeah, it doesn't seem different though.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense because if it was different, then that wouldn't make sense.
A ringtone? No, never mind. Forget that. There's no way the ringtone on someone's phone would be audible through all of that.
The man was probably right, but somehow the idea nagged at Kano. He jotted down a note in his pad. This might be Stanley. Kano. It was Stanley. Perfect timing.
Thank you for your cooperation,
Kano told the man. Then he hurried on his way. Stanley stepped in close enough to whisper. Who was that guy? Did you hear that?
Eyewitness to the explosion, apparently. Yes, I heard it. Wait, because he goes to the bathroom, right? And he listens to them from the bathroom?
Yeah, we'll probably hear the entire conversation then.
Okay.
Did he have any info?
He said he heard a cell phone ringtone at the time of the explosion. Not sure if that's significant, though.
Stanley stood silently for a moment, thinking.
What about that girl?
Kano asked.
Has she woken up?
No. I'm going to drive her to the hospital.
Huh? Why do that yourself?
Just look around, Stanley said. He cast his eyes out over the scene. There were still many injured people lying on the roadside. It seemed the authorities hadn't sent enough ambulances.
Isn't your car back in Mario Macho?
Kano asked. Under the circumstances, I think it makes sense for me to go back for it, Stanley replied coolly. Besides, I have a few things I'd like to ask her. Kano is curious.
You do?
He asked. Oh. Stanley's cell rang. Hello. Stanley answered the phone in English. As he listened, his demeanor changed. The blood drained from his face, and his hand began to tremble slightly as it gripped the phone. Kano had never seen him this shaken up. You got it, Stanley said at last. He hung up the phone and let out a sigh.
What is it?
Kano asked. Stanley headed into an alley without responding. Kano hurried after him. Once they were out of earshot of the crowd, Stanley finally spoke. That call right now was from Gordon, my superior. He broke off there, and for a long while was silent. He appeared to be struggling with some strong emotion. Ooh, we have a choice.
If it's that difficult to talk about, he doesn't have to.
This one? B?
Yeah.
Alright. Kano decided not to press.
If it's that difficult to talk about, you don't have to.
No, Stanley said. I should tell you this.
Okay, so what was the significance of that choice?
He braced himself before continuing. They gotta throw in some useless choices to make each choice, keep you on your toes.
You know how, like, in Zelda or whatever, where they're like, are you gonna go, like, will you go into this temple and, like, and to kill the, kill Ganon or whatever? It's like yes or no. You just be like, no. And then they're like,
are you sure?
You really should, though. Like, dog, you really should. And then they just let you choose again.
Yeah. There's, an RBG I played where it's like, will you go out, like, at the very beginning. It's like, will you go out and save the world? And you can say no. And like, oh, well, okay. And then if you leave that room, it goes game over. And then it's like, and the world collapsed or something. The world ended.
Nice. Yeah.
That's the only game I've seen where you can say no to saving the world, and it leads to a game over instead of someone saying, "Are you sure?" We were contacted on our end by the mastermind of this plot.
Those international criminals you mentioned?
Correct. Roughly 8 hours ago, they infected Mario Osawa with the Uwu virus. Then, they let her loose somewhere in Shibuya.
Hold on. By uwu, you mean...
Yes, like the emoji. Kano thought back to his earlier conversation with Stanley. These criminals were trying to get their hands on a new drug, an antiviral drug developed by Kenji Osawa that had been shown to be effective against the Uwu virus. Stanley hesitated before continuing. This is a killer virus with a 100% mortality rate once it takes hold. Kenji Osawa's antiviral is our only means of combating it.
Mortality rate of 100%?
It has an incubation period of 12 hours. In another 4 hours, Mario Osawa will go symptomatic. After that, she'll begin spreading the virus through the city.
It's capable of airborne transmission?
Airborne
no.
transmission. Following the onset of symptoms, individuals infected with the Uwu virus bleed from the lungs, and the virus is readily released into the air via coughing. The Uwu virus is highly resilient in the open air and can survive even after saliva or other fluids have evaporated. Simply getting within 2 meters of a symptomatic patient is said to carry a high risk of infection. Bodily fluids from deceased patients carry an especially high concentration of the virus, and anything contaminated with such fluids must be thoroughly sterilized before it is safe. That sounds pretty dangerous. Stanley nodded. If we don't administer Kenji Osawa's antiviral before she develops symptoms...
Yes?
Kano's voice was trembling now. Do I have to spell it out for you, Kano? Stanley spoke with complete certainty. Everyone in Shibuya is going to die.
You're gonna die. We're all gonna die. Well, then we need to find Maria Osawa and get the antiviral to her as soon as possible.
Kano said, panicking. Stanley remained cool. Just calm down. There's more to the story that... Stanley was interrupted by a strange sound from the upper floors of a nearby building. Do you remember what the strange sound was?
It's... Yanagishita is trying to pee, and Minorikawa doesn't want him to pee. Shout out to bladder desperation. Classic Japan shit.
Is that...
So they start fighting.
Unsure of what it was, the two men hurriedly relocated. They paused when they came to a vacant lot. The place was deserted. No need to worry about being overheard here.
You said there was more to the story?
Kano prompted. The antiviral in question is stored in Kenji Osawa's laboratory. The lab is protected by a sophisticated security system, and apparently the storage area where the drug is kept requires fingerprint authentication from both Osawa and Tanaka.
What? But Tanaka's...
Kano couldn't help but gasp. Tanaka was currently a fugitive, the prime suspect in the kidnapping case. There was no chance of getting any fingerprint authorization from him at this stage.
Is there any other way to get in?
Kano asked. The door can also be unlocked via password in place of the fingerprint scanner, but we'd still need to know what Tanaka chose for his password.
No.
In any event, Stanley said, it's essential that we track down and secure Maria. But, he went on, his voice grave, even if we get Maria to safety, the mastermind is now in possession of the UA virus. If they want to, they can unleash a bioterrorist attack on Shibuya at any time. To put it bluntly, the lives of every man, woman, and child in the city are in their hands. Kano felt a pulse of fear deep enough to give him vertigo. He slowly tilted his head, and gazed at the sky, vast and blue as always. There had to be
That's like that song, My Head, My Back.
Yeah. Head, back, shoulders, knees, toes.
Yeah, something like that.
There had to be tens of thousands of people in Shibuya right now. Rumi and Shizuo were among them. And they might all be dead within a day. It felt so unreal. Kano's mind almost couldn't process it. With an effort of will, he shook himself out of his daze. Now was no time to waver.
We have to try,
he said.
In the next 4 hours, we need to find Maria Osawa and figure out a way to stop this mastermind in the Uwu virus.
The words were as much for himself as they were for his companion.
Let's do this, Stanley. We might not...
You kind of cut out. Are you still there? Yoshi? Did we lose him? If you're talking, Yoshi, I cannot hear you.
Do this.
Oh, okay, I hear you again.
Oh, okay, I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, let's do this, Stanley. We might not always see eye to eye, but together, I feel like you and I can find a way.
But Stanley averted his gaze. My job here is simply to apprehend the mastermind. Kano felt a resurgence of his earlier anger at Stanley. Once again, he was putting his duties above human life. I'm sorry. Stanley's voice was a quiet mutter. You should get away from Shibuya as soon as possible, Kano. Kano hadn't imagined that the American would ever be worried for him.
I appreciate the warning,
he said.
But I'm seeing this through to the end.
This isn't the sort of thing you can solve with just an effort of willpower.
Even so, giving up isn't the Japanese detective way.
Stanley let out a nasal chuckle. Back to that again, are we?
Same to you.
Kano managed a tiny chuckle of his own. Listen, Stanley went on after a moment. This is just between you and me. The mastermind behind this kidnapping case is an arms dealer who goes by the name Alphard. If you don't know what an arms dealer
Stupid
is...
name.
Alphard. Well, what would you have named? If you were an arms dealer mastermind who is also frequently involved in smuggling weapons unlawfully obtained through deals with government or military contracts, what would you have named yourself?
Like Bill? George or something?
George. The mastermind behind this kidnapping case is an arms dealer who sometimes goes by the name George. Yeah, I think that's a little better.
Alphard?
Sorry. Yeah, it is a pretty dumb name. The attempted bioterrorist attack on Kasumi Gaseki, a hotel bombing in Chicago. Alphard had a hand in all of them.
Know about this criminal?
Kano asked. Stanley's expression grew even darker. Alphard's signature is extremely meticulous planning. But I don't mean meticulous in the same way you or I might normally think of it. Their plans are perfectly imperfect. Do you get what I mean? Kano shook his head. Alphard deliberately engineers accidents to make things complicated and unpredictable. It's difficult to get a good grasp of what's going on when the situation seems to be falling apart. People tend not to consider that coincidental mishaps might be anything but. In the end, they don't even realize they were playing right into the mastermind's hands all along. Kano could hear the intensity in Stanley's voice. I'm afraid that's all I can say. Stanley held out his right hand. See you around, Kano, if we're still alive.
We're still alive.
Kano let that sink in for a moment.
Nah. I'll shake your hand after we finish this case.
With a slight
Bitch.
With a slight smile, Stanley withdrew his hand. Then the two bumped fists instead. Alright, we'll meet again, Kano. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. See you then.
No sooner had Stanley departed than Kuze's voice came in over the wireless.
Attention all units. As of now, further investigation on the kidnapping case is suspended.
The director's voice sounded strangely cold. Ooh, nailed it.
Nailed it.
I repeat, as of now, further investigation on the kidnapping case is suspended.
Wait, hold on. Sir?
Kano shouted.
What is it, Kano?
Could you let us know why?
We've received information that Mario Osawa has been infected with an unknown virus and has been released somewhere in Shibuya.
That matched up with what Stanley had said earlier.
An anti-bioterrorism security force will probably be deployed in Shibuya.
Bioterrorism is terrorism involving biological agents such as bacteria or viruses. Biological weapons are easier to acquire and transport than nuclear weapons because they rely on an organism's natural ability to proliferate or infect, and can produce powerful results for low effort. In the event that a bioterrorist attack occurred in Japan, temporary quarantine and decontamination facilities would be set up in the area affected.
This is no longer a simple kidnapping case, Kano. Our part in this is finished.
No, it's not. We haven't managed to resolve anything.
Kano, I assure you everyone else feels the same as you do. Kuze's voice had a cautionary tone. They're still performing the autopsy on the body found in the blue minivan that exploded. I'll let you know once we have a positive ID. Kuze out.
Rector!
But the lion had already gone dead. Left at a loss, Kano gazed out at the cityscape. The sight of the bombed vehicle had calmed down briefly, but now that the news networks had begun reporting, the herd of onlookers was growing. There was also a sizable crowd gathered outside of a large home electronics store. The large LCD televisions on display were showing a press conference being held by the governor of Tokyo. Ooh, what are we gonna do?
Let's watch the broadcast.
Kano might learn something new about the case. He decided to watch the broadcast. Alright, who wants to be the governor of Tokyo? Or who do you want to be the governor of Tokyo?
I could be the governor of Tokyo.
Okay. Twerking? I think the first word is twerking.
It is twerking. So what would the governor of Tokyo sound like, though?
Profession?
Yeah, professional. Working closely with the administration, we are keeping a careful eye on the situation as it develops.
The governor's expression was solemn as he spoke. The moment he finished his statement, the reporters bombarded him with questions. Oh, I'll be the reporter. Let me see. I gotta do a voice different from what I normally do too.
I guess.
This seems similar to the bioterrorist attack on Kasumigaseki 2 years ago. Is there any possible connection?
Oh, there are multiple reporters.
What countermeasures do we have in the event that Shibuya is the target of bioterrorism?
The government was visibly disconcerted.
If this does turn out to be a bioterrorist attack, we will establish emergency shelters with a large-scale quarantine station at Yoyogi Park. However, there are still many details that remain unknown.
The politician was clearly struggling to maintain his composure.
Can you comment on the rumors we're hearing that Shibuya might be blockaded off?
Don't be ridiculous.
The governor barked.
What outlet are you with? Are you trying to start a panic when we don't even know all the details? Besides, it wouldn't even be possible to blockade the whole of Shibuya.
Very professional. The press conference continued. The governor and the reporters locked in a belligerent back and forth. Kano left the electronics store and headed for the cafe where Rumi and Shizuo were waiting. He had to tell them both to get far away from Shibuya. Wow. The Café La Trek seemed quiet when Kano arrived. I thought they would save this for the next hour, but here we are. Shizuo was sitting alone. Kano scanned the establishment, but didn't see Rumi anywhere. One of the staff greeted him. Oh yeah, I'm the waitress. Welcome. Just one, sir?
No, I'm meeting someone, actually.
Of course, sir. The hostess smiled and then went on her way. Shizuo was glaring at him. Kano walked over to him and bowed deeply.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm Shinya Kano. Haven't they met like 1,000 times?
Over the phone. I don't think they actually met in person.
Okay. You look like even more of a knuckle dragger than I thought.
Shizuo maintained his appraising stare.
Rumi has something she needed to do, so she stepped away for a while.
He said after a long moment. Kano sat down across from him. There was a laptop computer open on the table, if you don't know what that is. Right now, the laptop is in sleep mode, and there's nothing on the monitor. But just before Kano came in, Shizuo was browsing an internet forum. He takes his user handle from a nickname for the apples he grows on his own farm, which are pretty little things, and nearly as sweet as honey.
Wasn't expecting that.
The waitress came by to take Kano's order, so he asked for an iced coffee.
What are you using the computer for?
Kano asked.
I'm on the internet.
Shizuo's voice was low and gruff.
We'll try and lower it down a little bit.
This cafe has an internet connection?
May as well start with a little small talk. So what?
Again, Shizuo glared at Kano.
I just...
The words wouldn't come.
No, actually, this is no time to be making idle chit-chat.
If they got infected with the virus, Rumi and Shizuo might die.
Look. Please, you need to leave Shibuya right away.
Shizuo's face contorted with confusion.
What are you talking about? Why?
Kano wasn't sure if he should tell the truth or not. He was strictly prohibited from discussing a case with anyone outside the department. As a former policeman himself, Shizuo ought to understand full well the secrecy an investigation required. But it wasn't like he'd just up and leave town without a good reason.
Please listen.
Kano said.
Let's tell this guy about the bioterrorist attack.
Alright.
Listen. There's a risk of...
What's that?
What I mean is...
Shizuo pounded his fist on the table.
Spit it out.
Kano just couldn't say it. It didn't matter who he was talking to, he couldn't make himself leak the details of an ongoing investigation. Besides, there was no guarantee a bioterrorist attack would actually happen. If they could just find and secure Mario Osawa before she went symptomatic. Symptomatic.
Does this have anything to do with the case you're working?
Huh?
You telling me to leave Shibuya? Does that have something to do with your case?
Yes.
Kano admitted.
So why don't you run off with Rumi then?
Shizuo's tone was frank.
Well, I mean...
When Kano didn't have an answer handy, Shizuo let out a single heavy sigh.
Is your work important to you?
He asked. Kano hesitated.
Is it more important than Rumi?
Well...
Again, Shizuo cut Kano off as he waffled over how to answer.
Me? I used to put my work before my family. There was no question in my mind that combating society's ills and solving cases was worth any price. And because of that, I did some pretty reckless things. Almost wound up dead more than once.
Shizuo paused, a forlorn look in his eyes.
My wife did nothing but worry about me. So much that I didn't even realize when she'd worried herself sick. I was so caught up in my work that I wasn't even there for her when she finally passed away. It was all so very absurd of me.
The waitress came by and set Kano's iced coffee on the table. Here you go. It sat there, untouched, until Shizuo looked at it pointedly. With a tiny nod, Kano brought the cup to his lips. The bittersweet liquid was a balm to his parched throat.
I told Rumi the same story,
Shizuo continued.
but I didn't tell her how absurd it was. I told her that her father only did what he had to do.
He took a sip from his glass of water.
Rumi, she's very much like her mother used to be. Their personalities are almost identical, and I don't want her to suffer the same way my wife did.
Shizuo's fist clenched in his lap.
What was it that made you become a detective in the first place?
He asked.
Well, at first I got the job because I thought it would make Rumi happy. And then I guess I also thought, and then I guess also because I thought it'd make you like me, sir.
It was the truth, but Shizuo simply chuckled.
If your goal was to get me to like you, you may as well give up now.
I'm sorry, sir.
Kano said.
I can't do that.
Are you this stubborn around Rumi?
Shizuo grumbled.
I love your daughter, sir. I want to keep her safe, to make her happy.
And why is that? Fucking stupid question.
Whenever I think about her, I just feel so amazing. I'm sure that you or anyone else can empathize with that. Everyone...
Oh, it happened again. You cut off for a little bit.
Everyone has someone they want to protect who makes them feel that good.
Did I lose you?
Am I still?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay. It's an admirable thing, wanting to be a detective and protect the happiness of the people. But that doesn't mean you need to ignore your own happiness in the process.
What you say may be true, sir. Earlier today, my partner was stabbed. And today is his wife's birthday.
Shizuo arched his brow.
Is he going to make it?
We're not sure yet. Last I knew, he was in critical condition.
This is why I keep saying that the life of a detective is...
Shizuo's words trailed off into a lamenting murmur. Even so, Kano was unmoved.
Dictum number 1. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever.
What's that?
Something that a senior detective I admire very much said. It's the fundamental guiding principle I've stuck to as a detective. But I was wrong about the real meaning behind it. My partner was stabbed. There were people I want to rescue. So much has happened, and now I finally understand what those words mean. When you see someone in trouble, you help them. That's not something a good detective does. That's something a good person does.
Kano took a good long look at Shizuo's face. He had surprised himself, finding the words to speak his feelings so clearly, and he wondered what effect it had had on the older man.
I'm sure that from your perspective...
I'm sure that from your perspective as my future father-in-law, my being a detective means that I'm putting my life on the line. But that's not entirely true. I can only be myself. This is the kind of person I am. I care about helping people. Even if I were a baker, or a brewer, or a bookseller, I'd still act the same way.
You're being ridiculous. A baker and a detective don't assume anywhere near the same risks.
I suppose that's true.
Kano fussed with his hair sheepishly. Shizuo grumbled.
I think I see what kind of man you are now.
He sounded oddly defeated.
Which is why now is no time to just futz around.
Kano sat up straighter at Shizuo's weighty tone.
A detective needs more than just passion. A detective can't solve all his problems with sheer determination alone, but at the same time, needs more than just the ability to coldly assess a situation. He needs the conviction to stick up to a case when it might otherwise seem prudent to give up.
There was something new in Shizuo's expression now, and a gleam in his eyes that hadn't been there before. Kano almost felt like he was being sermonized by a senior officer.
You got that? You need a cool mind but a fiery spirit. A detective without both of those is worth nothing.
You mind if I write that down in my notebook here?
Look,
Shizuo said, sounding suddenly embarrassed.
aren't you in a hurry? Don't you have to get back to your case?
Ah, yes. And sir, please, I need you and your daughter to leave Shibuya right away.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Kano conjured up Rumi's face in his mind. There was a chance he might never see her again. He forced the thought away as best he could.
By the way,
By the way, if I may ask,
Shizuo said.
what was it about Rumi that made you fall in love with her?
what? Where's this coming from all of a sudden?
Was it her looks?
No, it wasn't just that.
Kano found himself tongue-tied again.
I mean, she is pretty cute.
Oh, I mean, she is pretty cute, even if this is my own daughter I'm talking about.
Shizuo shocked him by grinning from ear to ear.
Well, yes, she sure is.
Kano replied.
But it's more than just that. She's also very sweet and kind-hearted.
Ah, she is, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is.
For the first time, Kano and Shizuo smiled at one another.
You're a man who lets his emotions show in his face.
Shizuo said.
And for a detective, that's... Actually, that's not so bad.
Thank you, sir.
Kano said. He bowed to Shizuo as he stood up from his seat.
Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, huh? I like that. Wise words indeed.
Kano turned to look back, and then bowed deeply to Shizuo one last time.
I think that might be a reasonable place to stop, unless it's going to be difficult to get back there next time.
I feel like we are so close to finishing, but if you really want to stop here, I think that's fine.
No.
I think that's the end of a scene. But he does have like 5 minutes till he finishes the hour, so I don't know. You wanna stop here? We can save the whatever cliffhanger this is gonna be for next time.
Yeah, let's start the next episode with a little cliffhanger then.
Okay. Cool. I go back. There we go. Back to title screen. So, thoughts, impressions, theories?
I think that...
What do you think of that reveal?
What reveal?
About Kano's girlfriend's dad.
Oh, that he's he's pretty honey.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of makes sense. After I've had a minute to digest it, I feel like it totally makes sense. Yeah, I don't really have any theories. I don't know. It's
Yeah, there's just a van that blew up. We haven't really learned any information about it other than there was someone in there and it could have been Toyama.
yeah. Nice to see Shizuo again.
Yeah,
After all those times they kind of faked us out, made us think that he was going to show up, and then he didn't. It was someone else, you know?
Yeah. Do you think he's still like the mastermind? Like, so we already know he's got Pretty Honey as like an alias, but does he have Alphard as an alias too?
Yes. Going with yes.
Nice.
Because if you rearrange the letters in Alphard, you get hard lap. As in, that's an awfully hard lap you have there. When you asked me to sit in your lap, I didn't expect that lap would be so hard.
It's all in the shorts, you know? The metal shorts. That's what, you're feeling.
That's it's good to know. You got anything you want to tell the folks at home before we sign off?
Not,
You want to tell them about your camping trip, or is that too personal?
I don't think it's too personal. I don't really have anything interesting to say. Especially if I'm not going to
Did-
throw any pictures up and be like, oh, look, my dog had a good time, too.
Did you see any critters?
Yeah, there are critters. There's some
What was
pretty big
the
bugs.
most premium critter that you saw?
Premium?
Yeah.
What do you mean by premium? Like,
So, like, for example, if you saw a panda or a tiger, that would be pretty premium. But if you saw like a mosquito, I would not consider that to be premium.
Okay. Well, I don't think we saw anything premium. They were all bugs. I don't think, like, that's very interesting. That's not premium.
No, I said dragonfly could be like bordering on premium if it's like a nice one with lots of colors.
What about, like, I think it's called a damselfly. Damselfly?
No, they're too like dinky and scrawny. They're not premium. Sorry, damselflies.
Yeah, I don't think I have. There's some, like, chunky, like, big chunky bugs. There's a cicada, you know. Cicadas are dumb.
Those are nice. Are they? I've never like had a conversation with
dumb.
one.
They're just really loud. And then, like, you see them on the ground, like, belly up. I guess they're dying or something. But if you touch them, they just, like, start buzzing and just, like, run into walls and stuff.
You don't think that might be because they're dying?
It's probably because they're dying. Maybe they just lose brain cells when they're dying. When they're dead, they're dumb.
I mean,
That's probably what it is.
rip.
But yeah, I guess nothing really much to talk about. I did want to recommend anyone to watch this Everything Everywhere All at Once movie, because I saw it a few weeks ago and I thought it was pretty good, and I'm trying to get Yoshi to watch it.
Oh, Yoshi's gonna watch it eventually.
Yeah, he'll probably watch it eventually.
He'll watch it maybe sooner than later.
But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I gotta think of a good sign-off.
That was the sign off. That was the sign off. Was you tell us about your camping trip?
Oh. No, there's usually like a phrase I say where it's like,
Oh,
don't forget
like
to...
a literal sign off.
Yeah. Don't forget to pretty your honeys or something.
Yeah. Okay.
That was pretty good. Thanks for watching. Will we do this next week? No, I'll just keep saying next week.
I'm gonna be in California.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be in California.
Yeah,
Chilling out.
probably not.
In a car.
Airbnb.
Airbnb. So yeah.
All right, folks.
Well, until next time, don't forget to pretty your honeys.